Welcome to Florida Education News. My name is Dr. Tony Arza, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with a school board candidate in Manatee County, Jonathan Mullis. So one of the things that we're trying to do at Florida Education News is we want to make sure voters have the opportunity to get to know the candidates that are on the ballot. And so
Absolutely.
we saw that you had qualified, and we reached out and we wanted to just know a little bit about, why are you running, what motivated you to run for school board? Could you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. And I've lived in Manatee County for a number of years now, and I've lived a lot of places, and honestly, I really just love Manatee County. I felt more welcomed, more connected, more at home here than anywhere, and I want to make sure that every child in Manatee County has an excellent education. And they are ready for their life as soon as they graduate, whether that means they're going off to university, community college, technical school, military, whatever they're going to do, even if they're going in the workforce, they need to be prepared for that. And I want to make sure we have qualified, experienced people on the school board to make sure that we continue to go in the right direction.
Could you tell us a little bit about your background, kind of the experiences that you bring to the school board?
Yeah, so I actually grew up the son of two retired elementary school teachers, so I do have a little bit of teaching in my background. But as far as since then, I've been a small business owner for the last 17 years. I'm a physical therapy doctors of Florida in downtown Bradenton. And besides being a small business owner, I've been very involved in the community since moving to Manatee County. 2018 graduate of leadership Manatee. I'm currently the president of the Bradenton Kiwanis Club, which is one of the largest Kiwanis clubs in the world. Also been on the several boards of directors, Chamber of Commerce, committees, Lakewood Ranch Business Alliance. I'm very, very involved in the community.
And so how do you think some of that experience will help you on the school board? How do you hope that will help inform the decisions that you make if elected?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've had a lot of experience working on boards, working with others. You don't have to agree with everyone on a board, but you do have to get things done, which means you do have to work with others. I'm very good at that. I'm very good at making sure that we continue to go in the direction that we want to go, no matter what that board is. And I think I'll be able to continue to do that on the school board.
And you speak about the business background. One of the things that's happening in public education now in Florida is that you have universal school choice. Mm-hmm. One of the big arguments that advocates for school choice have argued that I also personally believe in is that choice breeds greatness, and that the school choice movement is really about creating options for parents, and options create competition, and competition makes everyone better. But there are those that have been very critical of the school choice movement. They consider the changes that have happened to be, the demise of public education. People get pretty doom and gloom about it. But regardless of where people stand, I think it is important that voters know where you stand. So could you share a little bit where you stand on school choice and your position on the issue?
Yeah, when we moved to Florida, one of the things that we thought was great was all the choice. You can choose into different public schools, you can choose into charter schools. It was one of the highlights of moving here. And when we first came here, my youngest was in kindergarten, my oldest was in 4th grade, and we went to the regular elementary and middle school near us. But then when my oldest got to high school, she wanted to go to a charter school. She was a talented, dedicated dancer, and she wanted to go to the art school that specialized in art, dance, and theater. And luckily, because we live in Florida, we had that choice, and that's where she went, and she excelled and did great there, and my youngest goes to a charter school now. Nothing against the public schools, but it was just a better choice for them. And I love that parents have the choice here, and I'm very supportive of the choice. The one caveat is I think that charter schools need to do something different than our public schools. They can't just, there's no need to have a charter school that comes in and just replicates our public school. They have to offer something different. They have to do things a little different. The nice thing with charter schools is, just like having a small business, you can make tweaks, you can try different things that you can't really do in a giant school district. And if those things are successful, I think they should, other school districts should look at those things. But charter schools should be better, and they should be different than the public schools. But other than that, I'm very supportive of the charter schools.
You mentioned being a father and your experience with a family, and the decisions that you've exercised to make a choice for your own children. Every single voter at some point, is either, has a relationship with a child, whether it's a nephew, a niece, a grandchild, a son or a daughter. Why do you think it's so important to make sure that parents are included in a child's education?
Well, parents and I suppose aunts and uncles and grandparents are the first educators of children, and kids are only in school so much. It's really, really important that the parents are continuing what's going on in school, that they're involved and have a say in what is going on in school, and the rest of the family should as well. They're the ones. It takes a village. It's the parents, the grandparents, the family members, the teachers. Everyone working together is you're going to have a great student.
Yeah. And when you think about Manatee County Public Schools, are there some things that you hope to bring to the board, maybe some changes or things that you see that you think we could do better? Could you kind of share a little bit?
Yeah, a couple things I want to focus on. I mean, number one, and we're doing well here, we're moving in the right direction, but reading needs more attention, obviously. We have not only a problem in Manatee County, but across the country. Manatee County numbers went up a lot this year. We want to continue that. So we need to continue to focus on reading and pre-K. Pre-K is a big part of what's helping with our reading scores here. But besides reading, I'd like to see some more career and technical education in the schools. I'd like for us to have a career and technical high school, so that for those kids who aren't going on to college, they'll graduate with a program, something that they can go do right away and get their lives started. We have a great resource in Manatee County, Manatee Technical College, but a lot of the kids there are older, 25, 26 years old. What's going on between high school and then? Let's get these kids started earlier so that they can get on with their lives and start raising families and things like that.
So when you think about Manatee County, we spoke earlier, and $1.7 billion budget.
Mm-hmm.
And today in America, there's a huge crisis around affordability. People are suffering. They're suffering at the gas pump, grocery stores, and in the midst of that environment, every taxpayer wants to know, where are my dollars going? Mm-hmm. Because every dollar that's taken away from a taxpayer is one less dollar they have to spend on the things that they need, right, for their own lives and to take care of their families. When you're responsible for such a large budget, one of the questions that I think every voter deserves to know is where the candidates stand on making sure that there's accountability when it comes to government spending and around budgets like this. But my question to you would be, how are you going to ensure that those dollars are working for the taxpayers in Manatee County? Yeah,
absolutely. Fiscal responsibility is one of the biggest jobs of a board member, and we need to make sure that we aren't spending one more dollar than we have to, and even more importantly, making sure we're not wasting dollars on things when we have other things that we could be spending that money on. There's plenty of things that we need to do better, so every dollar, every penny counts. One of the most important things is when we bring in new programs, they should be replacing something else. We can't just keep adding and adding and adding. If we're bringing in a new reading program, for instance, well, what are we doing currently and what maybe isn't getting us our best bang for our buck, and eliminating it rather than continuing to add things. But we need to really make sure we keep an eye on the budget. We have an oversight committee. We need to make sure they're doing their job and listen to what they have to say, and make sure that not $1 is wasted here in Manatee County.
So is there anything else that you want the voters or residents in Manatee County to know about you and about why you're running?
Yeah, I think I have a good combination of skills for this position. I have experience as a parent in the school district. I have experience as a business leader in Manatee County, and I have experience with a lot of the nonprofits here in Manatee County. So I think that I'm going to be able to bring together the teachers, the parents, the businesses, the nonprofits, and hopefully get everyone moving in the same direction so that Manatee County can not only get from that B to that A, which is so close, but to really become one of the best school districts in the state of Florida.
Thanks so much for sitting down with us. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, Tony.